Welcome to Expedition Safari. I'm your host, David, and we're about to embark on an epic adventure to encounter one of the most incredible creatures on the planet, the polar bear. We're currently standing on a runway in the Arctic Circle, surrounded by snow-capped mountains and frozen tundra. The air is crisp, and the wind is howling. Our plane is fueled up, and we're ready to take off into the unknown. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. We're taking off. The landscape below us is breathtaking. Vast expanses of white snow, icy rivers, and towering glaciers. We're heading towards the polar bear's habitat, where we'll have the chance to observe these magnificent creatures in their natural environment. As we fly over the Arctic tundra, keep an eye out for other wildlife, Arctic foxes, reindeer, and even walruses. The diversity of life in this harsh environment is astounding. And look, there's our destination. A vast frozen landscape stretching as far as the eye can see. We've landed. Now, it's time to grab our gear and head out into the wilderness. We'll be traveling in a specially designed Land Rover, equipped with everything we need to survive in this extreme environment. The temperature is well below freezing, so let's get moving before we freeze. As we bounce through the rough terrain, keep your eyes peeled for any sign of polar bears. We're in their territory now, and they can appear at any moment. The landscape is dotted with frozen lakes, snowy ridges, and icy caves, perfect habitat for these incredible creatures. Whoa! Look out! The Land Rover just hit a patch of black ice. Hold on, everyone. We don't want to get stuck out here in the middle of nowhere. Okay, that was close. Let's keep moving, but cautiously. After hours of driving, we finally reached our destination. A frozen lake surrounded by towering icebergs and snow-covered hills. This is where we'll set up camp and wait for the polar bears to appear. Keep your cameras ready, because we don't know when they'll show up. It's getting cold and dark, but we're not going anywhere. We're waiting for the main event, a close encounter with a polar bear. And look, what's that in the distance? A white shape, moving slowly across the ice. It's a polar bear. Get your cameras ready, everyone. We're observing a large male polar bear, making his way across the frozen lake. Look at the way he moves, effortlessly gliding across the ice, his fur fluffed up against the cold. And check out those massive paws, perfectly adapted for hunting and walking on snow and ice. The polar bear is now approaching a seal, breathing hole in the ice. This is where the hunt begins. He's waiting patiently, his ears perked up, listening for any sign of movement beneath the ice. And then, he strikes! The polar bear has caught a seal, and it's a fierce battle for survival. The polar bear has emerged victorious, and now he's feeding on his prize. This is an incredible sight, a true predator in its natural habitat. We're learning so much about the polar bear's behavior, from their hunting techniques to their social structures. But our encounter is about to take an unexpected turn. The weather is changing rapidly, with a storm brewing on the horizon. We need to retreat to the safety of our Land Rover, as the winds are picking up, and the visibility is decreasing. Hold on, everyone. This could get rough. We've made it back to the Land Rover, but the storm is intensifying. The winds are howling, and the snow is blinding. We need to get out of here fast. The polar bear is still out there, but we can't risk getting stuck in this tempest. We're finally back at the airport, safe and sound. What an adventure! We've seen the polar bear in its natural habitat, and learned so much about these incredible creatures. As we take off into the skies, look out the window. The Arctic landscape is breathtaking, a true wilderness that's home to some of the most amazing animals on Earth. Thanks for joining me on this expedition to the Arctic Circle. Until next time, farewell from Expedition Safari. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, keep your sense of adventure alive.